It's Tuesday. That means it's time now for us to check in with Nancy Cahalen, President CEO, Better Business Bureau, serving Central and Western Massachusetts and Northeastern Connecticut. And we want to talk today about Social Security benefits. You know, they're going up in 2023, right? Good news for those of us of a certain age, seniors, more peace of mind. But you all know where I'm going with this right now as we get ready for Nancy to tell us about it. That means that it's also good news for the scammers who will try to come up with ways to part us from our money. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks again for having me on.
This is one, right? I mean, Social Security benefits going up, yay! But we know that the scammers miss no opportunity when they think that they can get at our money.
Well, the great news for the scammers is that this impacts nearly 70 million Americans, all right? And it's sure to be top of mind. The increase is 8.7% this year, and that's significant because it's the highest cost of living adjustment in more than 40 years. So the scammers are taking advantage of it. It's in the news. It's top of mind. So if someone gets a call, it's something they're familiar with, and they think that it's on the up and up.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, it is another of these, as we talk about so often, where honestly it really is just so easy, in some ways, easy for these scammers to take advantage. So how does this particular scam work?
Well, they contact you either by phone or text or email, and they say they're the Social Security Administration, and they claim you must apply for the cost of living increase. So people do it. And they tell you to visit a website, send them information, speak to them on the phone. But what they're doing is they're gathering your personal information, like your Social Security number and all your other personal details. They may even ask for your bank account information, claiming that they are going to deposit the extra money right into that account. So, they're gathering up all this information, and they have a plan for how to use it in the future.
Yeah, is this something where I mean they sort of all build these scams on some of the same things that we have seen in the past, and is that the case here? It looks as if that the big red flag would be people are once again asking me for my personal information.
Yes, absolutely. You have to know how the Social Security Administration communicates, and according to them, there's a problem. If there's a problem with your number, they mail you a letter. Generally, they only contact you if you have called them. So a call, a text, or an email out of the blue is a big red flag.
Wow, this is the thing where they're so good. They're going to mail me something, and I'm sure that if I get something in the mail, and then what do? They mail it to me, but they can't then be using a real return address for the Social Security agency. How do they suck me in?
Now, we've heard reports that scammers are using U.S. mail to deliver fraudulent letters, and they advise the recipient to call a toll-free number to activate an increase on their Social Security benefits. So the letters appear to be from the Social Security. They're designed to look like the real thing, the real letterhead, but they're not from them. So again, the cost of living is automatic. You don't have to do anything to get that increase in benefits. And if someone tells you otherwise, you're dealing with a scammer.
Yeah, the thing, I mean, boy, when somebody calls, this one is particularly evil, because when somebody calls and they're telling me that it's from the government, and if it sounds at all plausible, Nancy, I'm intimidated. I mean, I'm feeling like, oh man, I'm under so much pressure now. But I guess that's kind of a red flag in and of itself.
Absolutely. A lot of these scams use high pressure, fear, intimidation, but don't give in to threats. They'll never threaten you. The Social Security will never threaten you with arrest or legal action. They'll never suspend your Social Security number or demand a payment from you. And they'll never ask for personal information or banking details to give you an increase in your benefits. If someone demands these things, they're not the Social Security Administration, and I would suggest that they are a scam.
Yeah, what's my best defense if I'm on the line with one of these scammers?
Well, if you're in doubt, hang up. If you suspect that you might be getting scammed, stop all communications. Contact the Social Security directly if you have continued concerns, and you can visit them online at oig.ssa.gov to report any scams. So they're on it, and they take these things very, very seriously. So what if will a federal agent call you? Probably not. They don't call people. The IRS or the FBI don't call people with threats. Don't trust your caller ID because, as we've seen, scammers can spoof legitimate numbers, and you can't trust what it says on your caller ID. And never, never, never click on links inside a text message or email that purports to be from a government agency.
Wow. All right. So, I mean, yeah, these are that one is just really so difficult right now. It used to be that my phone would tell me I was getting calls from this Mr. Potential Spam, and I knew to ignore him. But now my phone will show up, and there'll be names. Some of them are kind of weird cockamamie names, but it's like a legit name that is there, and I go, oh. Well, if it's a name, is this somebody I should know? Is this somebody I'm supposed to? And I figure, well, I'll let it go to voicemail, and then I can figure it out. And of course, 99% of them never go to voicemail because I'm sure it is just some sort of a scam, just something that is just kind of ringing these random numbers. But the fact that they can spoof these legitimate numbers now, boy, that makes things just a little more difficult.
Yes, they often try to spoof numbers that are probably geographically close to where you live. So I've been getting a number of them as well. And I missed one the other day, and I called it back by mistake. I just meant to look to see what it said, and
I've done that.
And I called it back by mistake, and somebody answered, and I said, "Oh, I just missed a call," and they hung up on me. So they figured I was the scammer. So, but I think it's the best defense. Just hang up. And unfortunately, we have very expensive smartphones in our pockets. And in a lot of cases, we're advising people don't use it. Don't answer the phone if you don't know who it is.
What else are the other tips that we need to know, particularly when it comes to this scam?
Well, your Social Security number will never be suspended. And if someone threatens you that they're going to arrest you, this is just a lie, and it's obviously a scammer. So, they will impersonate government agents, and we're familiar with that scam. So we need to just suspend all communication, go to the source. If you have a question about Social Security, go to the Social Security and ask them.
Right. Listen, what else would we need to know? I mean, when it comes to Social Security and the Social Security Administration, for example, you had said give them a call if it looks like that's where the fraud, that you suspect fraud. And do I go right there and then I can kind of make that complaint? Do I also get in contact with the Better Business Bureau and let you know?
Yes. Two things you need to do. You need to file your report, of course, with the BBB Scam Tracker. And secondly, the Social Security Administration Inspector General has their own online form. And if you go to the SSA, you'll find that very easily and be able to report this.
Very good. Nancy Cahalen, President and CEO, Better Business Bureau, serving Central and Western Mass, Northeastern Connecticut. Nancy, thank you. This is one where, I mean, it is that time of year, and we got to be aware of these scammers.
Well, they have 70 million potential victims, so I'm sure they're busy.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's a lot of numbers to call. Nancy, thank you as always.
My pleasure. Thanks again for having me on.